Ayo, what's up, y'all? It's your boy Ace. This is Fantasized Football. We are back once again, bringing out some more fantasy football content for the 2021 fantasy football season. And I am here today to bring y'all my starts of the week, as well as answer you guys' start or sit questions. But before we get into that, a quick shout out to each and every one of y'all that come by on a weekly basis, showing your boy some love and support. It really, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, means the absolute world to me. I can't thank y'all enough. And if you're new to the channel, welcome to my humble abode. I hope you do enjoy today's video. If you do at any point, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Help me reach my goal of 500 subscribers on YouTube by the end of the fantasy football season. I would appreciate any and all help getting there. But like I alluded to, we're doing our starts of the week as well as answering you guys' start or sit questions. We got 5 of them today. And obviously with the starts of the week, we're going to be throwing in our projected stat lines for the memes as well. We love them memes. But without further ado, let's kick it off with my quarterback start of the week, which is going to be Matt Stafford of the LA Rams against the New York Giants at New York. Now, this is a good matchup for Stafford. The Giants just let up over 300 passing yards and 3 touchdowns in week 5. Matt Stafford's thrown the ball at least 37 times in every game since week 2. The volume has been there for Matthew Stafford. For the season, he's averaging over 300 yards and 2 passing touchdowns per game. I think this is a great opportunity for Matt Stafford to light it up and be a great asset for all of us fantasy managers. So if you have a decision to make at quarterback and Matt Stafford is involved, I would recommend starting Matt Stafford this week. And as for a projected stat line, I am for 35 attempts, 24 completions, 296 yards, 3 passing touchdowns at hell. Again, for the memes, let's throw in 1 carry for 4 yards. 30.24 fantasy points based on 6 point per passing touchdown leagues. Now, moving over from quarterback, we're going to hop on over to the running back position. And my start of the week is going to be Myles Gaskin of the Miami Dolphins going up against Jacksonville at Jacksonville. Now, Myles Gaskin exploded in week 5. He only had 5 carries for 25 yards, but he had 10 targets, caught all 10 balls for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns. Now, 2 is expected to return, and I think this is a great thing for the Dolphins offense as a whole. I expect after last week's performance, the Dolphins to rely heavily on Myles Gaskin, lean on him a lot more heavily, use him more in the running game. And that's great in this game because I expect the Dolphins to control this game and be in game scripts where they can run the ball quite frequently. So if you have Myles Gaskin on your fantasy roster, absolutely slot him in this week. I think he's in for a big week, a lot of opportunity here for Myles Gaskin. And as for a projected stat line, I have him for 15 carries, 67 yards, and 1 touchdown, adding in 6 targets for 5 catches and 41 yards, good for 19.3 half PPR points. Now, moving over to wide receiver, my start of the week is going to be T. Higgins of the Cincinnati Bengals playing at Detroit this week. Now, his first game back last week in week 5, he saw 7 targets. I expect them to continue to try to get him more involved, get him back into the swing of things here in week 6. He is a focal point of this passing offense, himself and Jamar Chase being the 2 main weapons for Joe Burrow. He's got an easy matchup here against Detroit, but I do expect this game to be relatively competitive. Joe Mixon's also coming off of an injury, so they may kind of like ease him in a little bit, maybe not want to use Mixon as much. P. Ryan is out as well, so we might see a little more passing volume this week from the Cincinnati Bengals. So I am absolutely starting T. Higgins this week, hence why he is my start of the week. Now, as for a projected stat line, I have him for 9 targets, 7 catches, 91 yards. 9 targets, 7 catches, 79 yards, and 1 touchdown. Good for 17.4 half PPR points. Now, moving over to the tight end position. Not spoiler alert. Just a little food for thought. Zack Ertz was my start of the week here, which actually would have worked out. I believe I had him projected for 12.4 half PPR points, and I think he had like 12.9. So, but obviously he played on Thursday night. This video comes out on Saturday. So I had to pivot, and I'm pivoting over to Noah Fant of the Denver Broncos at home versus Las Vegas. Now, I expect this to be a relatively competitive game with a lot of pass volume on both sides of the ball. It's been an up and down start for Noah Fant, but he has held a 19% target share in this offense through the first 5 games. It's a great matchup here against Las Vegas. I expect Las Vegas to kind of be in a state of limbo with the situation with John Gruden. Again, I'm not going to get into that much, but they lost 2 games already And now with John Gruden out of the picture, I think that Las Vegas is kind of going to be in shambles a bit here. I mean, hopefully their offense is still rocking and rolling, keeping it competitive so that Noah Fant and the rest of the pass catchers are not phased out of this game. But like I said, I do think it's going to be a competitive game, and it's a great opportunity for Noah Fant to get it going here in week 6. So I am absolutely starting Noah Fant this week at tight end. And my projected stat line for Noah Fant is going to be 7 targets, 5 catches, 61 yards, and adding in a receiving touchdown, good for 14.6 half PPR points. Now, it is time, excuse me, for us to move over to you guys' start or sit questions. I got 5 of them, so let's kick it off. We'll kind of rapid fire through this. We got Amari Cooper at New England or Cortland Sutton home versus Las Vegas. I'm going with Colton Sun. I'm going with the hot hand here. I expect more volume for Colton Sutton here. I expect this to be a more competitive game, or at least I expect it to be a higher scoring game at least. I mean, the Cowboys, I see it going one of 2 ways. Either New England kind of tries to slow them down and they're successful with it, or the Cowboys get out to an early lead and it turns into a more run-heavy game script for the Cowboys. Amari Cooper hasn't seen much volume. He hasn't seen more than 6 targets since week 1. Colton Sutton's obviously coming off a very, very big game last week. And like I mentioned with Noah Fant, I think this is a great matchup, and I think there will be plenty of passing volume to go around. So I'm going to go with Colton Sutton here over Amari Cooper. Now, moving on to our next one, we have Javonte Williams at home versus Las Vegas. A lot of Broncos here this week, and Devontae Booker home versus the Rams. This might be a little controversial, but I'm going with Javonte here. Melvin Gordon's a little banged up. I mentioned earlier this week, I expect Javonte to get a little more involved as we go. This is an easy matchup here against the Las Vegas defense. Devontae Booker's got a tough matchup here against the Rams, although he probably will maybe see a little bit more opportunity. I think that the touches that Javonte Williams will get will be more valuable. He's got an easier matchup, obviously, against Las Vegas. Hopefully he sees some work in the passing game, can find the end zone this week. So I'm going to be starting Javonte Williams over Devontae Booker here for this one. And moving on, this is a tough one for me. Start or sit Allen Robinson. Start or sit Allen Robinson. I know, guys, it's been tough. It's been very tough with Allen Robinson, but you got to start Allen Robinson this week at Green Bay. You have to start, home versus Green Bay. You have to start Allen Robinson here. He's got to get it going at some point. He's way too talented not to. It's sad to see that Justin Fields and Andy Dalton haven't just provided Allen Robinson with the best start to the season of his career. I mean, you would assume these guys would be the best quarterbacks he's ever played with. Unfortunately, he hasn't been very successful. But if you sit him and he goes off, you're going to be very, very upset with yourself. Hopefully, Allen Robinson can start getting it going this week and kind of set a trend for the rest of the season. So I am starting Allen Robinson here in week 6. Moving on to our next one, we have Khalil Herbert home versus Green Bay or Latavius Murray home versus the Chargers. I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert here. There's no Damian Williams here. Khalil Herbert saw 18 carries last week. I expect him to see the majority of the workload, if not, close to an 80% opportunity share in this matchup here against Green Bay. I mean, how many opportunities is he really going to get is the question if Green Bay gets out to an early lead. But if he's involved in the passing game, I expect to see at least probably 13 to 15 opportunities, if not more, with the upside to go for 20 total opportunities here against Green Bay. So I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert. Latavius Murray is just a little questionable. I don't know how involved he's going to be. He got 18 carries 2 weeks ago. Last week, he got 6. You really don't know what to expect there with Latavius Murray. I think Khalil Herbert has more guaranteed volume there with Damian Williams and obviously David Montgomery out of the picture. So I'm going to go with Khalil Herbert this week against Green Bay over Latavius Murray. And on to our last one, we have Michael Pittman at home versus Houston or Hunter Renfrow at Denver. I'm going with Michael Pittman here. Hunter Renfrow's been a safe kind of floor play, but low-key, Pittman since week 1 has been too. He's had 7 or more targets, 6 or more catches in every single game after week 1. The Colts seem to want to play less conservatively. We heard them talking about it all night on Monday night, how the Colts want to be a bit more explosive. And if that's the case, then Michael Pittman is going to be a focal point. This is a very good opportunity for the Colts to come out and make a statement after losing that overtime game against the Ravens last week, where they blew their big 16-point lead. So if that's the case, Michael Pittman is going to be a big, big benefactor. Hunter Renfrow has a much tougher matchup. Obviously, Houston, much easier matchup than Denver. So I'm going to go with Michael Pittman here. I think there's the potential for a very, very big boom game for Pittman here this week. But that wraps it up. That is all. That is all there is. We are done for today. day. I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did at any point, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel. As always, thank you for your start sick questions on the YouTube comments, on Instagram, on Twitter. By the way, make sure to follow my socials. Links down in the description. I would really, really appreciate that. I hope you guys have a great weekend. You enjoy the football, you smash your fantasy matchups, and just have an overall great rest of your week. I will catch you guys next time. Me, my boy, we are out. Like I said, we will catch y'all next time. As always, thank you, love you, peace.